Hello there. Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Happy holidays. I hope everyone who celebrates had a great Thanksgiving, and hopefully everyone who doesn't celebrate still had a fantastic Thursday. We're talking Life Day today, 12 Days of Life Day. If you guys didn't know, it's something that I do every year around December. And 12 times in December, I do kind of surprise, seemingly random, although they're not really random because they're in December, giveaways. And all you have to do to enter to win those is just be a subscriber and leave a comment. It's the same as my normal giveaways because we're still doing the lightsaber giveaway, but that is running all throughout December, and that will be announced in January. So the 12 Days of Life Day is different than that. And we're talking about these today, and also we can talk about whatever else you guys want. I know there's been a lot of news lately, and I've been talking a little bit about it. There's been a lot of people reaching out to me with the latest X-wing expansion because of the huge amounts of problems with the latest two X-wing expansions. Everything from misprints to like faulty prints, where like lines don't line up, or putting stuff on the back of certain cardboards so you can't use both of them, and things like that. And some of it's pretty justified. Some of it's a little bit of a stretch. There's certain ones that I think are more serious, and other things that I think aren't as big of a deal. But still, I think there's just so many things with the latest X-wing expansion. That's crazy. Now I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more in my X-wing unboxings for the next two products, the the Siege of Coruscant pack when that comes, and then of course the Hot Shots and Aces 2, which has got everybody talking about it. That one's really interesting. That's kind of the big thing. We got Boba Fett coming out. Boba Fett's already in the wild. We've seen his flamethrower kind of show up. There's just been so much. What is going on, everyone? If we get over 100 viewers today, I'll do a bonus giveaway for this video as well. So that might make it like 13 days of Life Day. So make sure you share the video, share the link with your friends, with your communities, because we've got stuff to preview from lots of your favorite games. We've got giveaways, things for X-wing players. We've got things for Armada players. And we've got things for Star Wars Legion players. We actually have a lot of Star Wars Legion player stuff. So if you know some Star Wars Legion players, they're definitely going to be interested. But share this out with your communities. We've got some really cool stuff to talk about. I think Legion has got the most stuff, and it's kind of proportionate to the amount of love AMG gives. Right, they give Legion the most love out of the three games. Although Legion also kind of got hit the hardest with Shatterpoint's announcement, being that Shatterpoint seems to have so much overlap with Legion that it is pretty wild. But hopefully everybody's doing good. I want to hear topic for discussion real quick while we're getting everybody in. Because we're starting out. This wasn't a planned stream. This was kind of I planned it, but I didn't really. I got a busy household. Got a lot of kids, pets, family in town, a lot of stuff like that. So it's harder for me. I'm not the most professional streamer with a stream schedule, so I kind of have to be like, all right, is this going to work? Can I do it now? Can I do it now? I can't do it now. I have to wait. Okay, I can't do it now. So I don't really get these things planned, but I can do it now. And here I am. And here you are. So topic of discussion, what is the best Thanksgiving side? What is your favorite Thanksgiving side? I want to know what everybody thinks, because I really like macaroni and cheese, although I think it's not a particularly a traditional Thanksgiving side. It's more of a sometimes thing. It's more of a dish for other meals too. But I have a really rich and robust macaroni and cheese that I like to make for holidays. Sometimes that's Thanksgiving, sometimes it's Christmas. But I didn't make it this year. I experimented with some other things. I see Jacob saying candied sweet potatoes. Chris is saying dressing. Now that's an interesting thing, because I think dressing is one of those things where sometimes people call it stuffing, sometimes people call it dressing. And I'm curious if we've got how many people are watching from places where they celebrate Thanksgiving, or how many people are watching from somewhere outside of the United States that maybe you're familiar with the holiday, maybe you know what it is, or maybe you don't know what it is, or do you not celebrate? I am curious, but yeah. So while we're getting all those answers in, while you're sharing that with the videos and stuff, I want to start things off with a Star Wars Armada preview for the Life Day events. So, as some of you know, I did go to a place called Gen Con, and we, and I had a pretty good finish. I had a pretty decent performance at Gen Con for the Armada tournament, and one of those things that I was able to win, I'm forwarding on to you, because that's usually what I do with stuff that I win, as I turn it around into giveaways. So one of the things an Armada player is going to get is a very limited edition damage deck. Still kind of sealed in the wrapper, right? Not a pre-used damage deck. It's not a damaged damage deck, but they do have the oh gosh, that's messing it up. They do have the 2020. This is like the last OP kit from that Fantasy Flight games made for Star Wars Armada, and this is all coming from that. So from the heyday of Armada, a full-blown damage deck, not just one preview, right? Not just one preview, but like, what is it, 52 damage cards? So you're getting a pretty thick old damage deck there. That's going to be one of the things that we're giving away. Of course, Armada being my favorite game of all time, definitely hoping we see some more. So definitely hoping Rapid Reinforcements 2 is something that actually happens someday. I don't think we'll hear anything more about Armada for quite a while, though, because we already got an OP kit that, and that's something else I wanted to give away. I have not been able to find any of those. How many of you guys out there have been able to play the new Summa of All Things for Star Wars Armada yet? Because I wanted to be able to have that and give some of that stuff away. I wanted to be able to give like a kit away for everyone else who like maybe didn't get to play it. I had those of you who have been to Orlando or have heard me talk about my local game store. There used to be a place called Sci-Fi City. A lot of stuff happened with Sci-Fi City this year. It was not a good year for Sci-Fi City. They eventually got kind of bought out by a company called FLGS, which is the worst name for a game store because it is an FLGS. That's like naming a shoe store. It's the stupidest name of all time. But anyway, so they bought out Sci-Fi City. And so it's like some of my games, you'll hear me saying I'm at FLGS, and you're like, well, of course, well, but which FLGS? That's the thing. So they actually closed. They were supposed to be open today, but they closed their doors for good yesterday. It kind of surprised a lot of people because they were supposed to have a huge sale running all weekend, and they decided to close up early. And kind of a really, like, this was a store that had been in Orlando for like 30 years. It was just a store that was a part of Orlando gaming. It used to be NC 1701 Comics years and years ago before I moved to Orlando. Then it was Sci-Fi City in a massive store like the size of a Walmart, and then it shrunk down into like a still nicely sized but more reasonable sized gaming store, in the same plaza, in an old Pizza Hut, as a matter of fact. And that's where I spent most of my time at Sci-Fi City. And so I got in. I played my first game of X-Wing there. I played my first game of Armada there, and did I play my first game of Legion there? No, I played my first game of Legion at home. I played a lot of games of Legion at Sci-Fi City, as well as Star Wars Rebellion, the Star Wars RPG, Dungeons and Dragons, lots of board games. Sci-Fi City was my introduction into the world of tabletop gaming, and I made a lot of great friends through that place, and it became a part of me and all of my friends. It was like a local hangout, and so they closed down yesterday. So that was now some of their inventory got moved over. So we have a Coliseum of Comics. That's a chain of stores that are in here in Orlando. And so they're kind of taking over, and they're going to try to incorporate the days and stuff like that. But it's still, the place and it was rough kind of losing Sci-Fi. So it is sad to see. It's sad to see gaming stores close down. What is going on, everybody? We're also talking about your favorite Thanksgiving side. What is the best Thanksgiving side dishes? And so Jack says he wants to see Jango Fett in the Separatist Fire Spray for Rapid Reinforcements 2. I have a feeling that Jango Fett was planned for Rapid Reinforcements 1. Is I have that feeling. Like, it makes sense. It feels like it would have fit, and maybe it just wasn't balanced in time. There's a reason. I don't know the reason, but I'm certain that there is a reason that the Separatists were the only faction that didn't get a squadron. Everybody got a new squadron except for the Separatists. And it was probably something that they wanted to do that was too broken. That's my guess. That's my guess. You look at stuff that, Din Djarin, for example, with his sniper rifle, and I feel like that was kind of rushed through because, like, there's so many rules that it breaks, and being able to shoot into a heavy transport, for example, and being able to shoot into a melee, and not being able to guardian any of these shots, and not being able to use dodge token, like, it's not an actual shot. It's just game effects that just put in damage. Doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. You have to take this damage, and it's just weird. Because it doesn't sync up to anything else that resembles the game. I have a feeling something like that happened with whether it was Django or if it was some other. It might have been just a unique droid. When you look at Rapid Reinforcements 1 and you look at this stuff, like they've taken a squadron that already existed within the factions, and a fire sprayer they would have had to have pulled from a cross faction. So maybe the easier thing there would be to put like Dooku in a Beelzebub or whatever, the Belabelub, or something like that. But yeah, Dexter, that's not very nice. Why would you say that? I mean, maybe you don't like the game, but it's not trash. It's a fantastic game. It's not in a good spot right now, but it's still getting played a lot. I think I'm playing next week. But yes, so I just wonder what the story behind the missing squadron for Rapid Reinforcements 1 was. We're speaking of Armada, we just did announce one of the promos. If you guys are just joining in, we're talking about Life Day. I want to talk about what it is because we have a lot of folks here. One of the giveaways we're going to have is an OP kit top. What was this? I don't know. Top 4 Imperials or something like that. Damage deck. So top 4 per faction at the Gen Con World Qualifier Tournament. Got special damage decks, and they're blue, and they're the small cards, and this has got the OP Kit 2020 symbol on there, so pretty cool stuff. So yeah, that's actually going to go out to somebody in December. So very cool stuff. Again, if we break over 100 viewers, we'll do a bonus giveaway right here in the video. We've got more giveaways. Now, how does this work? Like all of my giveaways, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. And basically towards the end of videos, I will typically announce winners, and that'll probably be the case in December, although it can be like in the middle. But one of the reasons that I do this is to kind of encourage additional views, and view duration. And just to be completely upfront with you, it's an algorithm thing. I'm trying to grow the channel. And I'm also trying to give back to you. So I do this in a way that can help grow the channel and also reward you guys. But as a result, there are some times where people don't watch to the end and they might miss their name being called out as a winner. And so I give everybody 30 days from so you wouldn't be able to go back to a video that was a year ago and be like, oh crap, I won this giveaway from a year ago. Sorry, you have 30 days. And then it gets forwarded on. So what is going to happen to, let's say, for example, this Armada damage deck doesn't get claimed when it's announced? Again, I'm not telling you exactly when it's announced because, again, I want to foster more views, want to foster people watching all the way to the end of videos, because that means YouTube is more likely to show my stuff to somebody else who's interested in getting into tabletop gaming. So again, it's a way to kind of just encourage the spread of the hobby. That's kind of why I do what I do, and it helps grow the channel a little bit. It gives me a little bit more reach, and I mean, I don't get that many clicks, so it's not like I'm doing it for clicks. It's like I'm basically doing it for long-term growth. I want to hit 100,000 subscribers one day. That's been my goal from the very, very beginning, and it's been very slow going. I'm not like, there's people that hit 100,000 subscribers on their first day, like especially if you got like a big YouTube channel to be like, oh, check out my boy Crab over here. Like that would have been great, but I've had to just do it all myself. and so it's very been slow growing. And that's one of the ways that I'm growing is by having giveaways and trying to work the algorithm. It's a necessary evil. And that's why I have kind of conditioned myself to talk for about 10 minutes at a time. It's just something I do now, because initially 10 minutes was like the magic number for YouTube. Like behind the scenes, they're like, you gotta do at least 10-minute videos. And they've actually changed that. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes anymore, but I still talk that way because that's just like the way my brain has been rewired, is to talk on any subject for 10 minutes. Which means I'm miserable at parties because I won't let you go away until like 10 minutes has passed. You know, you can ask me like how my holidays were. I'm going to talk about it for 10 minutes. No, but seriously. So basically what happens if you don't claim a gift? Well, all of the stuff that is unclaimed rolls over into Patreon. So patrons will have a chance to claim stuff. I'll kind of put it out there. And basically, so if you're a patron, you already have a chance to win by being a subscriber, but you get an extra chance to win if something doesn't get claimed. I think last year we had 3 things go unclaimed, so that's like a quarter of the giveaway stuff went unclaimed. So that's another way to kind of help thank all of the people that are helping make this channel possible. And again, it's not restricted to any of the specific tiers. You know, we have different tiers on Patreon. And of course, the credits are one way that, you know, if you want to see your name at the end of every one of my videos, there are different tiers for that. The, you know, A-Wing and above all qualify for that. But there's different tiers for that. But the giveaway restriction it's not locked into any of the tiers. So I put it out there for all patrons. So there's definitely opportunities there, and I do giveaways on Patreon periodically. I think there's still one right now. I have to you know, I got some shipping I have to do still. And I think there's some in Discord. We also have stuff going on in Discord too. We have a giveaways channel, and I'm thinking about doing another painting contest soon. We had some really good ideas, maybe some that would focus on dioramas or terrain setups with your photo. I think that's a really cool one. We had some great opportunities for that. So I want to talk about Star Wars Legion a little bit right now, because we have some really cool stuff. We had a special benefactor this year. One subscriber, Devon Weaver, actually sent out a care package, which features a number of Star Wars Legion expansions for the 12 Days of Life Day giveaway. So everybody, put your hands together, and big thanks to Devon Weaver. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. But yeah, so one of the things I want to show you guys is one of the things that we're gonna be giving out, and that is a lat for Star Wars Legion. So whether you play the Republic or the Empire, if you want a big old nasty dual faction lat, I think this is the biggest box outside of a core set they have ever made for Star Wars Legion. This is the biggest box, and probably one of the miniatures with the most pieces in the entire game. It is massive, and it's beautiful, and you can build this either for the Empire or the Republic, or you can build both. It comes with pilots, so you can choose your pilots that you put inside. You can magnetize it. You can do an awful lot with this one. Or you can put no pilots in there at all, or just put, like, you know, I don't know. Some people paint over the cockpit. I didn't paint over the cockpit. I think I put Imperial pilots in mine, because I see it used more. Like, I associate this particular vehicle a little bit more with the Empire because of Star Wars Rebels. It was in multiple episodes of Rebels, where I think it was only in one episode of the Clone Wars. So I tend to, and it just looks more Imperial to me. It definitely does. But it's a great vehicle. Great vehicle. Fun. It's got the good firepower. It's got the sideways movement. Having the notched base with the notches on the side, does allow you to do the strafing. So this is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be one of those awesome giveaways that we're gonna be giving away in December. So again, and these are gonna go out to you. I'm gonna ship them out to you. International is fine. You know, it doesn't matter. Of course, it's gonna be a little more expensive to ship internationally, but yeah, we have some boxes. We also have some, you know, we've got stuff for different games. So I already talked about the damage deck for Armada. Lat in the Bad Batch too. Is there a Lat in the Bad Batch? In the Clone Wars Bad Batch, or the Bad Batch show? I've got to go back and watch the Bad Batch again. I was actually just looking at the Bad Batch the other day, and I'm trying to remember. I know it was the Clone Commandos video I just recently did. I was actually trying to find out, trying to get a good screen grab of the CCs, the Clone Commandos that they had in the Bad Batch, because again, hopefully, I know a lot of people really want Clone Commandos to show up in Star Wars Legion, and we do know that they're coming in Star Wars Shatterpoint. Funny thing about Shatterpoint, I actually just started reading an old Legend book, audio book, so listening. But it was the Shatterpoint, the Mace Windu Shatterpoint book. Curious if like the reason being is I'm curious if the name for Star Wars Shatterpoint has anything to do with that book. And it may be that, like the term Shatterpoint in the book is kind of described as a, it's basically like a critical weakness. Like if I hit you here, you're going to collapse, or something like that. Or all of your armor kind of falls apart. And so it's really just basically a critical weakness. Like the Death Star, for example, the exhaust port was its shatter point, right? And so it makes me wonder if even like the strongest characters in Shatterpoint are going to have like a weak spot. Like if you hit Maul from behind, he loses all of his defense or something like that. I don't know if it's if that's the angle they're going with or not, or if they just thought it was a cool name. But yeah, so I'm working on this book. I'm about halfway through it. It's pretty interesting, but it is Legends, so it's not canon, but a lot of the canon pulls from Legends, and so there's a lot of Legends books I never listened to, so I'm definitely doing that. So we were talking about Thanksgiving a little bit. What's going on? How was Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was pretty good. It was good. A lot of work, a lot of food. Ate a little too much. Paid the price for that yesterday. I was still kind of in a food coma yesterday. Rohirrim says, I have a mental side bet that objective markers will be called Shatterpoints. I don't think so. I could see that because it's a point. Like, I see your logic there. However, I don't believe that, Shatterpoint is talking about a point on an enemy, not necessarily an objective. So I feel like the spirit of the word might not be reflected if they do that. But then again, it could be something totally different. It could be a Shatterpoint in the situation. I guess it could be. It could be. Let's see. I want to go up and see what some of you guys said about your favorite Thanksgiving side. Jonathan says it's got to be mashed potatoes. Robin says stuffing is always awesome since it's mostly for holidays. Yeah, you sound like you have. How many of you guys have stuffing like outside of Thanksgiving? Like, who has stuffing? Now, I have. It's just been a long time. I mean, they do sell stovetop year round, by the way. And by the way, how do you like your stuffing? I did something different with stuffing this year, because I have had stuffing that was kind of like where they do a big casserole dish and they bake it to where the top gets hard, and I don't really like crunchy stuffing. To me, that's kind of gross. I don't want stuffing to be like Captain Crunch on top where it cuts the roof of my mouth. I want my stuffing to be soft. So I think my mom used to make it from scratch, where she would get a whole lot of bread. I'd tear up the bread like all manually, and that would be like my job. We'd spend a lot of time with the stuffing, and she would use like some of the turkey gizzards or innards or the liver or something like that, and she put it in a blender with some of the juices and the gravy, and she would end up making it. Now, it ended up being like very bready, and that sounds weird to say, but it had a different consistency, but it had a lot of flavor. But I have always really liked stovetop. And but I didn't want to be too basic, so this year I decided I was gonna do stovetop. I got like multiple boxes of stovetop. So we had quite a few folks over, a lot of family over, and because I did two things this year. I did mashed potatoes. I didn't do mac and cheese this year. I did mashed potatoes and I did stuffing, and the stuffing was stovetop. But beforehand, I started off. I chopped up an onion real fine. and I was sautéing the onion with some butter, and I chopped up some carrots real fine and a little bit of celery. Not a big fan of celery, but if you chop it up small enough, and I use like maybe a half a stalk, so just a little bit of celery to add some aromatics to it. And I just simmered those for about a half an hour. Got them real nice and soft, and with some butter, about a half a stick of butter. And then I added that to the stovetop, and it was probably about like 2 whole cups of like onion, carrot, celery mixture that I added to all of. Now, granted, the stovetop's already got the seasonings and everything, but having that extra buttery vegetable mixture thrown in and stirred and like cooked into it with it, it worked out really good. It was probably the best stuffing I've ever had. And again, it was kind of cheating because stovetop was the base, but yeah. Marcus, you are the father of Armada. I wish I got to work on that game. Oh, Brian says we do crunchy stuffing on top and the gravy softens it up. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a thing. I've had some of that before. Big Ben is watching while at work. Big Ben, don't you get fired. Don't you get in trouble, Big Ben. I won't be blamed for that. But yes, if you guys just joined, if we get to 100 viewers, we're gonna do an extra giveaway in this stream. So you can be sure to share the video with your communities. We've already talked a little bit about some Armada, one Armada giveaway, and a Legion giveaway. So we have for Life Day. Again, these are going to be given out during the month of December. They're 12 different times. One of them is going to be the OP 2020 Armada damage deck that I got from Gen Con for a top 4 finish. We also have Devon Weaver surprising the channel with a couple of really cool things. We have a LAT LE coming for Star Wars Legion. We have another one I'm going to show you guys. Another Star Wars Legion one, also from Devon. A Saber Tank. Again, a really generous, really generous support from Devon Weaver. Really going to make some Legion players very happy. This one is just for the Republic. So all you Clone Wars players, get yourself. And this is a fantastic vehicle too, by the way. I've seen so many people put this together to great use. You've already got R2D2 as available for the Republic. So you've got a great little repair droid that first off works to run secret mission, but on top of that, he can repair your tank very well. And then you've got things like Padme Amidala, who can share a standby with this. You've got things like Yoda, which can also work with this, or you can run both of them. I lost really bad in a tournament one time to a list running a single Saber Tank and then also Padme and then also Yoda, and it was painful. This thing was just shooting multiple times over and over again, and it packs a punch. It's a really solid. And then he also had R2D2 to fix it if I tried to shoot back, and then I was just like, well, there's no point in even shooting back. I think it rolls red defense dice too. It's with armor, not fun. Yeah. Add sausage to your stuffing. It's a game changer, Big Ben says. Yes. I've had sausage in stuffing before. That is quite good. It is quite good. Grow330 says, it might not be Thanksgiving as I'm not American, but I absolutely love bread sauce. No idea what bread sauce is, but I'm guessing it's similar to what we call stuffing or dressing. So it's definitely possible. And thank you, Marcus, for the kind words. I appreciate that. Let's see. IGU Dark Shadow says, always watch while I'm at work. Gotta do something so I'm not bored. Well, I'm glad I can help, spice things up a little bit. Do we have any X-Wing players in chat? Because we have some pretty cool X-Wing stuff that I'm going to get to in just a minute. But before I do, I want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. We have some really great tokens available for Luxury Playstyle. You've heard me talk about them before. This code is now 20% off for I think today and tomorrow only. So there's their Black Friday weekend sale. So you can still use code Crabbok VIP. This is your opportunity to head over to Luxury Playstyle. This is the best savings. They only run one sale a year. This is it. this is your chance to, if you've been waiting for a sale, if you've been sleeping on it, this is the only time in the whole year they're going to have this sale. And again, if it's whether you play X-Wing, whether you play Legion, whether you play Magic the Gathering, or someone who does, these are amazing gift ideas. And I know everybody's like trying to find Christmas gifts for people in their lives. Or, well, here's something that, as an adult, especially if you have people that buy you gifts, especially if you're married, or if you have parents or loved ones that are looking to get gifts for you. I create like a Google Doc sometimes with like just some gift ideas. And I just send it to my wife, like, here's just some ideas, so you don't have to try and surprise me with maybe something that I don't want or whatever, and then you put this down there, like put the product, like put a hyperlink to what you want in there, and then also include this code, so they're going to save you 15% if you do it any other time, or 20% if you do it like today or tomorrow. Now, there's another thing that I want to talk about with the luxury playstyle tokens. If you guys play Star Wars Legion, the new tokens are now available for pre-order. Whole new set. We've got. What is this? Oh my goodness! There we go. All right. We've got Observe tokens. Really, really nice looking Observe tokens. We've got Ion tokens, which you don't want if you've got one of the Saber tanks. You don't want to get ionized. That's what I should do. I should include more Ion in my builds, because one big vehicle shuts you down, right? Immobilize. A lot more Immobilize happening now. Lots more, especially with Boba coming back, and the whips that we're seeing. The Magna Guards have it. Jedi using Burst of Speed, getting Immobilized. A lot more Immobilized hitting the screen. And of course, poison counters, which are the poison tokens are so nice. And they actually have the luxury playstyle logo hidden super tiny in the middle of the poison counter. But I love that kind of biohazard outline on those. Really, really nice. And these are double-sided as well. And so I'm trying to remember which ones are on which side. I think it's Ion and Immobilize, and then Poison and Observe. I think these two are flipped, and I think these two are flipped. So again, you're really getting a great, usable, versatile token with every purchase. So these are awesome, and so I love them, and I can't wait to have them in hand, because they're up for pre-order right now, so they'll be shipping real soon. But then again, Crabbok VIP saves you 20%. This is the only time of year you're going to get that. So make sure you do. Again, and if you're watching this after the fact and it's too late, you're still going to save 15% by using that code. But great stocking stuffers. Let your friends and family know that that's something that you might be interested in. And it's not just Legion tokens. They also have Magic the Gathering. They have L5R Keyforge. Keyforge is coming back. That got funded on GameFound, the new expansion, and I've got some decks coming for that too. I ordered some. Keyforge is a real fun game to play. It's not one of my main games, but it's something I'll play every once in a while. Especially opening up a brand new deck. I'm like, let's see how this one's going to play. And it's the whole adventure every time. So it's super cool. I'm looking forward to that. Actually, really... I wish I had him. I would love to play that around Christmas time when I have people over and stuff like that. All right. So X-Wing. Right before I got into that, I was talking about X-Wing. We do have Armada and Legion stuff. We also have some X-Wing stuff. We've got a really nice promo. Now, I say promos because I do give away promos quite a bit, but this is no ordinary promo that we're going to be giving away. This is a spot gloss. Spot gloss Anakin Skywalker, and I'm catching it just right here, right? This is a spot gloss Anakin Skywalker. Now these are thick, like credit cards. These are this was actually, I believe this was from Fantasy Flight, LFL FFG. Yeah, this was one of the last, or one of the last couple of OP kits that FFG put out. Anakin Skywalker in the Y-wing there. On the back side, we just got the full art of Anakin in the Y-wing. This was 2019. This was part of 2019's kits. And I believe this one is pretty rare. So we're going to be giving that out this December as well. So no matter which games you're into, there's certainly the opportunity to win some cool stuff. And you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Keep coming back. Like, again, every different video is another opportunity for you to win. So watch all of my videos and watch them all the way to the end, because I announce winners usually towards the end, not the very end. So you can't just skip to the end. Sometimes it's in the middle too. Sometimes it's in the middle. So and then every once in a while I might surprise you and announce one in like the first 2 minutes. So you never know. Especially for 12 Days of Life Day, I might get creative on it. If you don't claim your winnings, again, you have to email me, right? If you win something, if you don't email me, if you don't see it in 30 days it passes, you lost your opportunity. Everything that goes unclaimed rolls over into Patreon, so patrons get an extra chance to win. And so it's kind of a way for me to encourage people to keep watching all the way through, and another way for to grow the channel and to give back, and also to reward patrons with additional opportunities to win stuff. So let's see. I'm missing some of the chat because I missed a couple of you guys. Gregory Hall asked earlier, will Gar ever make a comeback? I think you're talking about Legion. I think so. I think first off, we do have points. Points are coming real soon. I think there's certain things we expect to see in our points update. I think we expect pikes to go up. I think we expect to see the Ion Crab go up. I think we expect to see maybe speeder bikes or something to impact the Empire a little bit for Blizzard Force, because people running four bikes has been really, really popular. I personally am not a fan of 4 bikes, but a lot of people are doing that. To me, that feels a little try hard. Like I absolutely positively want to win, And I'm like, to me, it's akin to running like triple sniper team, and it's not something I usually like to do. But then again, just because I don't like to do it doesn't mean other people don't like to do it, and it's become popular. So let's see. I'm just checking out other stuff. But Gar, I think Gar is going to see maybe a points reduction. There's always a chance they could do a rules change, but I just don't feel like they'll do a rules change. Like, I feel like Gar almost need the ability to get some of their old token sharing back. But maybe it's too much. I don't know. But then again, they could always do that with a new thing. Like I said in my Clone Commandos video, like what if Clone Commandos came in and they had kind of like the old Gar ability, like Super Clone, and that ability is like they can borrow any number of tokens, so they're not restricted to the 1 token share per. Like that would be kind of cool. So that's an idea. But then again, I think you could probably make the argument that maybe ARC Troopers could use that, because ARC Troopers are supposed to be really good. So, I don't know. Is there a date for point changes? They said early December. So when might that be? I'm going to say probably December the 5th through the 9th. That week is my guess. Because if it's December 1st or 2nd, that's the first week that has December in it. So, and I think anything after the 9th wouldn't be considered early December. So I think if you're in single digit, you're still considered early December. They might be aiming for December 1st or 2nd, which would be a Thursday or a Friday. But what year? No, obviously this year, but that is pretty funny. But I don't think they would be saying it. I think they've said it twice now on social media, so I don't think they would be saying it out loud with date ranges in mind if it wasn't virtually ready. I can understand them saying like, "Oh, that will be coming, so just stay tuned. We'll release more." And when it, like if they didn't have it pinpointed in, then they wouldn't do that. So I think that's definitely coming. Also, Gar have Cody coming out with Waxer and stuff like that. Like Cody's, they have new stuff coming out. I also do think Clone Commandos will be coming for Legion. I think it's definitely a very real possibility. Either them or the Bad Batch, maybe both. I'd love to see a box. I'd love to see like a big, instead of just individual minis, I'd love to see like bigger boxes of like, here, this is the Bad Batch box. And it's got all 5 of them in one box. And maybe it's more expensive. Maybe it's like $80, or something like that. But I would love to see that. Because you get an 8 operatives or something like that. And maybe they each have an operative card. or even a commander or operative card in their own respect. And maybe they have a special forces unit called the Bad Batch, which has 5 heavies in it, and they have like multiple ways that you can run them, right? Like that's what I really want to see for Legion, is like a box of, and I want to see the same thing for the Ghost Crew as well. I just want to see all of that. I really want to see Rebels, the cast, the Ghost Crew from Rebels. I want them to show up, man. I see some people talking about the Rebels. Ewoks for Rebels have me excited. Greg says, okay. I think Ewoks will be interesting. They don't have me excited. Like I like the Ewoks, but I'm not excited about the Ewoks. I'd be more excited about Gungans. I really want to see Gungans. I don't think we'll get Gungans, but I really want to see Gungans. I feel like Gungans has been one of the units I've wanted for the longest time, because when we first started playing Legion, reading over the rule book, like, all right, Legion's an 800-point game, but it doesn't feel like I'm really fielding a Legion. It doesn't feel like I have a big battle here, unless maybe we play the double point. In the rule book, they call the 1600-point game Grand Army. Grand Army, I love it. But Grand Army, I think, has only ever been used twice. It's certainly in the Clone Wars, and like in Episode 2, they talked about the Grand Army of the Republic. But the first time we hear Grand Army is Jar Jar Binks saying, "We got the Grand Army." That's when it's first said. And the only time it's just said is Grand Army by itself, as not just Grand Army of the Republic, but Grand Army is only really used by itself talking about the Gungans. So I always feel like Gungans were considered. Like they were always in the equation. They were always on the drawing board for this game. I mean, they kind of formed up, side by side again. The Battle of Naboo, I just thought was just an incredibly iconic battle. And we got a battle force like the droid invasion. All right? That was generally not 100%, but is generally geared to kind of reflect that, the Gungans, and the Battle of Naboo, and I just thought to myself, I'm like, this is great. Why can't we get this? Like I want that. I want the Gungans. They were in multiple things too. They also helped the Mon Calamari arc. They were all swimming underwater and all that. I want a Gungan army. There's limits to how many new core units they can really give to Gar. It's like you have your Phase 1 clones and your Phase 2 clones, but like how many more clones can you do that are just going to be core, right? So there's different ones that you could do, but I think Gungans would be perfect. I really think they would. Let's see. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And that could be a saving thing. The problem is if they're too good, like if they're really cheap, they could be too good, and then they may show up in like every single Republic army, So they might need like some kind of special. There might be a detachment for a Gungan commander. Like you might need to have to run certain characters. You might need like a Captain Tarpos or a Boss Nass in your build to include them. Maybe by calling them detachment or something like that. Zombie, will you post winners announcements on Twitter or Facebook? No. The reason I don't post them on Facebook, I explained this earlier, but I'm happy to cover it again, is the only place I post winners is at the ends of my videos. The reason for this is, to be perfectly clear and transparent, is I'm trying to grow the channel. And one of the ways to do that through YouTube is to play the algorithm, and the algorithm wants people to watch my videos all the way through. And so if you watch all the way to the end, then YouTube thinks, hey, people are watching this all the way to the end. Now I'm more likely to suggest these type of videos to other folks. And so that's why I do it the way I do it. And so if people got the results somewhere else, then I would have potentially, it could hurt me with the algorithm, and then the channel doesn't get recommended to other people who are looking for tabletop gaming ideas, and then then it doesn't share these games out. So it's all part of this like this 12-step program to both have giveaways and grow the channel. I'm trying to do both at the same time, so that is my method. I understand that it does mean you have to watch the videos all the way through, but you can always kind of have them on in the background because it's not just a graphic. I'll do a graphic, but I'll also say it. So if you just have to have them on in the background, you can do that. You know, but that is the way it is. Sylar Swady says, "Give us finally Mace Windu." Well, he is coming in. He's coming into Star Wars Shatterpoint. So they've confirmed that Mace Windu is going to show up. I'm really interested, and this is something I want to talk about because I'll be doing some more Shatterpoint videos. But I'm curious who Mace is going to come with, because it looks like Shatterpoint, you're getting in every expansion, you're getting a group of 4. You're getting a squad leader, you're getting like a sub commander, and then you're getting 2 like troops or 2 grunts or something like that. And I don't know what those names or ranks actually mean. Like, I don't know if squad leader is something that you have to include or something that can potentially work. Like, leaders in Marvel Crisis Protocol have an ability you can choose to use, but you can run all leaders if you want, but you're only going to get 1 leadership ability. You're going to have to pick somebody, you know, some leadership ability that's going to be the one that you activate for this game. And so maybe it'll be like that. You know, I just don't know. I'm really curious how they're doing it, because I really wanted, when I saw Shatterpoint at first, I was thinking, oh, okay, well, here's maybe a game I can run all Jedi. But then there's generic troops. And I'm wondering, like, why did they put generic troops in there? Like, I thought they wanted to make this, you know, more different from Legion. So I have a lot of questions, and I want to learn more. I really hope Shatterpoint is fun. I also understand a lot of people thinking, oh, great, this is going to mean less development time for Legion. I don't think it means it now. I think the less development time for like X-Wing, Legion, and Armada, that all happened back in 2020 when all these games were moved over. So I don't think we're going to see any changes now. That's why I said, like, there's no reason to worry. The same way things are now is the same way things have been last year, and then the way they're going to be next year. You're going to get a couple of expansions, not too many, but you're going to get a couple of expansions, and that's cool. I wish Armada had a couple of expansions, frankly. You know, I wish we had one more wave of Armada. You know, like maybe 2 more Clone Wars ships per faction, or even just 1 more, and then maybe another squadron pack and a card pack or a campaign pack to go with it. Because there's a couple of keywords that don't get used. There's a couple of cards that reference abilities that don't exist yet. You know, like they needed a little bit more. And then there's definitely some important ships that haven't shown up yet, and important commanders that haven't shown up yet. So yeah, I really want Armada to get more. But I know the good thing is X-Wing has more in the pipeline already, and Legion has a lot in the pipeline already. It's not all coming out right away, but it is definitely coming. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, a campaign pack would be really cool. Frederick Theron says the Arrestor Cruiser and the Fondor would be nuts. Yeah. So how many of you guys out there have been watching Andor? I want to talk about Andor a little bit. I'm not going to do spoilers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to do any spoilers. I'm just going to talk about general ideas and opinions. Because to me, Andor was something I was not super crazy about when they first announced it. It was like, all right, here's somebody I didn't really need the backstory on, but okay. Like a cool character, but I didn't know if that really warranted a show. And then I come to find out it's like their most episode show, and I'm like, wow, they're really putting a lot into like this character that I feel like his story was already done. And so I wasn't super crazy about it. Then the previews, I'm like, oh, this is going to get kind of dark, kind of like Rogue One. It's going to be kind of gritty and and show show the real world, right? First episode, I didn't watch them all at once. I watched like the first episode one day, and I watched like the second episode like a whole nother day. So it started out really slow for me. I thought that it got a lot better as it went on. The first 3, or even the first 6 episodes were just okay. And then I think by episode 7, 8, and 7, 8, somewhere around 7 or 8, I was hooked. I was really into it, and I was like, this show has really paid its dues, and it's really roped me in and gotten very, very good. Of like great episodes, great writing, just a great show in general. To me, it didn't feel like it was a great Star Wars show. It just felt like it was a great show that happens to be in the Star Wars universe. And then I saw, before the finale, I saw some people on social media making claims that the end episode was like the greatest thing they've ever seen. And they said, and I know you're going to see this, and now you're going to get your expectations. You're going to try and lower your expectations, because, it couldn't possibly be the greatest thing. And they're like, trust me, this will blow your expectations away no matter how high you get them. And I'm like, wow, that's insane. I saw people saying things like it was the greatest Star Wars that has ever been done and ever will be done. I've seen like the claims from early access, like influencers and stuff, talk about this finale of Andor like it was just the greatest thing imaginable. It is impossible to ever do anything better than this again. Anyway, I was expecting something really good, and so when I watched the finale, it was a good episode. Period. It was a regularly good episode to me. And maybe it's because I got my expectations high, right? I enjoyed the finale, though. It was a good episode. And it was a good episode as part of a great season of shows. But yeah, I feel like people really kind of oversold the finale. And they didn't need to, because it was still a good episode. I don't know. I'm trying not to do any spoiler talk, because if you haven't watched it yet, you definitely should watch it. It's a great show, great season. Looking forward to season 2. But yeah. All right. So, but we actually, in our Discord, we have a spoilers channel for that. And I'm gonna get back to the giveaway, because I got one more preview I want to give you guys for stuff that is coming, stuff that we'll see during Life Days giveaways. But let's see. Let's see what we've got here. Legion skirmish packs would be great. I don't know what you mean by Legion skirmish packs. The Fondor immediately jumped into my top favorite Star Wars ships after that one episode. Yeah, I'm curious what it would actually, like, if they put it in X-Wing, because like Fondor is a place, right? I believe it's a ship that was made at the Fondor shipyards. I don't know if, I don't know what actual, like, what its nomenclature is. It's probably gonna be like RS-232 Hullcraft or something like that, because I think they called it Hullcraft in the one episode. They are making a second season of Andor, yes. Let's see. Oh, you mean like a battle, like almost like the Battle Force boxes, but like an army in a box kind of thing. Like Games Workshop does that. I think those are great ideas. It's a great way to get stuff out there. Maybe do different sculpts. Sometimes they'll kind of refine old sculpts. I would love to see Legion come up with like hard plastic sculpts for like the Rebel Troopers and Stormtroopers and some of the early stuff. Would really like that. I'd like a hard plastic Darth Vader. Like all of our Darth Vaders. Like Darth Vader's like the baddest dude in the galaxy, and they don't have a good sculpt for him outside of that limited edition. The $1,000 eBay, Star Wars Celebration Chicago exclusive Vader. So we need to get some hard plastic Vaders and better sculpted Vaders. And they don't even have Vader in Shatterpoint, right? Shatterpoint is all Clone Wars. Like that's a surprise. That is definitely a surprise. I think it makes sense though. I actually like that direction that they're going there. Like, all right, Vader should be the baddest dude in the whole galaxy, so let's build up to him. Because the problem that so many games have come up with, like I remember Imperial Assault, like had Vader in their core set, and then when it was, a couple, like there was power creep. There's going to be power creep in just about any game, right? It just depends how much. And so if you have Vader come out right away, it's like, wait a second, you gave us the best dude first. Why did you do that, right? Why did you give us the very best dude first? You shouldn't have done that. Yeah. So, and then they put the Emperor out in Legion. I'm like, I didn't even know if he needed to be in Legion, but then he was like in like the third wave. And I'm like, well, you give us like the better than the best dude also really soon. How is anybody that comes out ever going to be better than these two guys, And so, But they did that Imperial Assault also. Vader was like really underpowered there. So I'm kind of glad that Shatterpoint's not starting out with Vader. Although they do have Anakin and Ahsoka and Maul kind of in the opening set. I'm like, oh, okay, but at least you have like Mace Windu coming, and and I'm sure they'll have like Yoda coming. So. But then again, you want to sell the core set. You want to get people excited about it. But the cool thing is Ahsoka's still young, so like if Shatterpoint thrives, they can always do like an adult Ahsoka who's more powerful. So they can build into making Ahsoka like this ultimate fighter, because she's still great. Again, she was a rival she was a more than a match for Maul, who was incredible. So, she's already she'd be very strong there, but there's also room for her to grow. Although Anakin is in that one, and I don't know if there's room for him to grow. I kind of regret that regular Star Wars talk here. Let me guys like what are some of your biggest missed opportunities in Star Wars? And one of mine is that we never really got to see Anakin versus Maul. And like I want to see, like I really wish Star Wars would do a what if where we could see Anakin versus Maul, or have other portals. Like there's a lot of things I'd love to see out of a what if. I would love for like maybe it's like a quantum leap thing, and you've got like a Ahsoka and Ezra are traveling through like the world between worlds or whatever, and they're going into different portals to see different potential futures, and that's how they do the what ifs, or different potential pasts. And like you can see one where like Qui-Gon lived, and then he's like leading the rebellion or something like that, or better yet, what I'd love to see is a what if where Anakin didn't turn to the dark side, or like Obi-Wan was able to stop Anakin, and like on Mustafar, where like Obi-Wan reaches Anakin and he's like, no, you were my brother, and he's like, you're right, and that they don't fight, or that they stop mid-fight maybe, and they embrace and they become brothers, and like Obi-Wan truly saves Anakin, and then you kind of fast forward a couple of years to where like Luke and Leia are kids, and like they're hiding out in the Outer Rim, but like Obi-Wan and Anakin are like leading all of the fallen Jedi like against like the Inquisitors and stuff, and like they're pushing back and they're making headway, and the Emperor is like, he's getting mad, like I almost want to see like a 3-part episode of that, like just to, because then that like oh gosh, I'd love to see that. I don't know how we can ever see that, but what if is a great way to do it. Like let's just see like an let's do a lot of kind of fun things like that. I always love the idea of like Luke and Leia switched at birth, and Leia's a farm girl and Luke is a prince, and then let's see how that could work out. Like, and there's so many and then we could do a what if tabletop game. Like that to me would have been a great place for Shatterpoint, and maybe Shatterpoint can still do that, right? But like just put like, oh, you want to have like Prince Luke of Alderaan, let's have him. Maybe he's got some some new tricks. Maybe he's learned some things and developed some skill sets that we didn't expect him to have. Like maybe he becomes a whiz, an electronics whiz, and he's got gadgets and stuff. Since he's got all these funds, he gets to put his curiosity to different places. And so instead of becoming a warrior, he becomes kind of like a technomancer, right? And then Leia, maybe she becomes a complete sword fighting, whiz. Like she does the whole staff thing. She kind of does what Rey had going on, and but then she gets, Obi-Wan like swoops in early and is like, all right, hold on, let's teach you how to do this with a lightsaber. And she just becomes like the world's best swordsman, right? Or something like, I don't know. It's just there's all kinds of really cool stuff that we could potentially do. Or what if Leia joined Vader? Zombie79 says, what if Leia went to the dark side? That's a really cool idea. If Vader, captures, or goes down to find the droids, and Leia won't let them go, and so she's overwhelmed and brought up to Vader, and he senses something or whatever, and he's like, no, we're not going to kill you, but she's like, I'm the best swordsman ever. I've got this lightsaber from Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever he gave it to me. He's like, oh really? Oh, let's have a talk. So he's like, show me your skills. And then so they're fighting or whatever, and she loves sword fighting so much, and Vader's like, I have never had an equal before. This is great. And so she awakens something within him, and and so then eventually he converts her to the dark side. But the thing that pushes her over is he tortures Obi-Wan in front of her, and it makes her go crazy or whatever. She ends up, she ends up serving Vader. Maybe he allows Obi-Wan to stay alive just to ensure her loyalty or something like that. Oh my gosh, I'm writing a whole freaking what if right now, right? Anyway, really cool stuff. But I'd have a blast if they were to do a Star Wars what if. It would just be printing money, man. It would be printing so much money. It'd be the greatest thing ever. Hopefully they can do that someday. I think the thing is it might be too good and it might draw attention away from everything else. I don't know. I got one more giveaway. So we've already talked a little bit about some of the... we got some massive vehicles. Thanks to Devon Weaver. He's donated some. We've got X-Wing Spot Gloss Anakin Skywalker. That's going to be part of the Life Day giveaway. We've got a Star Wars Armada damage deck from Gen Con. We also have something else. Little surprise for Legion players. We've got a limited edition Luke Skywalker. Hoth Luke for Blizzard Force, or for whatever you want. We've got a Hoth Luke here that is also going into the pile. Again, this is part of 12 Days of Life Day. These are some of the things that you will see. There's going to be 12 days where we do a surprise giveaway. These are some of the sneak peek items that you'll be seeing. So that's it. If you're a subscriber and you leave comments on my videos, you're automatically entered to win each time. Anything that doesn't get claimed within 30 days, it's going to roll over to be Patreon giveaways. So those will probably, anything that's left, it'll probably be either the end of December or early February where those start filtering out to Patreon. So if you are on the fence about Patreon, this is your opportunity to check it out and support the channel. And I do appreciate all the patrons that do that. Also, if you guys are looking for gift ideas, one more plug, Luxury Playstyle has some brand new Star Wars Legion tokens available. Use code Crabbok VIP that normally will save 15%. It's now going to save 20% for this weekend only. This is the only time of year they do a sale. So this is it. This is your chance. Tell your loved ones this is what you want. Give them that code so they can save. Maybe if they're saving, they'll get you even more stuff. Tell your stores that this is their time to order some tournament support for the coming year. Tell them that code. Tell them this is the best savings they're going to get all year. But the new Legion tokens are awesome. Of course, they've still got all the other Legion tokens as well. You can check all those out. And I know Mini Crab really likes them.
Oh yeah, baby.
That's right.
Oh yeah, let's play some games. Yeah. Oh yeah, baby.
Mini Crab is kind of crazy.
Yeah, let's play some
All right,
games.
that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. All right. Anyway, Mini Crab thinks they're pretty awesome. So hopefully you guys do too. Check them out. Let me know what you think. I think that's going to wrap things up. I want to thank you guys for hanging out today, and I will talk to you soon. We're getting very, very close. We probably have like 1 or 2 more AMG streams left. I want to hear some of your thoughts too, and let me know down in the comments. Also, jump in Discord. If you guys aren't already in Discord, you should do that. But what do you think they're going to be streaming? What do you think? How do you think AMG is going to close out the year? They said they only have, I think, like maybe 2 more streams left for the year. I think they're going to stream something in Shatterpoint. I think they're going to stream a Shatterpoint mini, be painting something from there. And that'll give us a really good idea of the scale, because we kind of don't know. My guess is they're going to be about this big, a little bigger than Legion minis, which are about this big, right? I think they're going to be about 20 to 30% larger than Legion minis. And, kind of, not going to lie, I've seen some of the postings. Like, I know Dallas has been painting Asajj Ventress for Legion. The Legion models are they're getting closer and closer. I think we're getting closer and closer to seeing Asajj and Ahsoka be more formally announced for Legion. Like, I just feel like the versions of Asajj and Ahsoka for Legion look less great. And this is contrasted by the fact that the paint jobs for like Asajj and Ahsoka for Shatterpoint are out of this world. And so I'm like, I don't know. It's the conspiracy theorist in me that makes me think, are they painting the Legion ones bad on purpose to help prop up to kind of make Shatterpoint stand out more? I don't know. Again, it might just be the conspiracy theory run around in the back of my head. I guess we'll see. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this all possible. I will talk to you later. I know you don't want to see Shatterpoint promotion. It's going to be the next big thing, and I hope it's good. It doesn't mean I'm not going to also promote Legion, Armada, and X-Wing. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.